what about here in Maryland? What you see here is a life sciences employment density. There's about right around 100,000 people here in the state of Maryland that are employed in the life sciences industry. And you can see where they are. I call it the V. Starts up in Frederick, comes down through here, across, and then up through Baltimore. And you can see where we're sitting is in the deepest green section right there.
So I've heard mixed ideas about whether companies, and I don't know if it's specific to the life science, the biosciences, whether companies like to hire locally.
Interesting question. You ask questions that are kind of changing. Okay. All right. The answer to that question is generally yes, but over the last 2 or 3 years, especially since the pandemic, companies were less interested in hiring locally because they could hire for remote opportunities. So the answer to your question again, generally yes, but now companies are actually now going back to in-house work staff. And so, yes, I think that is true. Okay. And, I should say, and I don't have the map on here yet, but life sciences, the biotech industry is bi-coastal in this country. And it starts down in Research Triangle Park in North Carolina, up through Maryland, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, and Boston. And on the West Coast, San Diego, LA, Orange County, the Bay Area, and up to Seattle. So that's where they are. And there's some other smaller hubs, and really biotech exists anywhere there is a medical university. So here in Maryland, in May of 2016, the Life Sciences Advisory Board, this is a group of top bio executives here in the state of Maryland that advise the governor on biotech issues. And they set a goal for themselves. They said, we want to be a top 3 biotech cluster in the US by the year 2023. And I was heading up the Maryland Department of Commerce Life Sciences group at that time. And this was a combination of industry, governments, and trade organizations that got together, devised strategies, and we'll see how it turned out. What they use is the Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology News. That's considered the kind of preeminent measuring stick for biotech. And that looks at 5 things: NIH funding, venture capital funding, the number of patents, laboratory space, and the number of jobs. So, how do we do? 2023, that's BioHealth Capital Region. That includes parts of Northern Virginia and the DC. However, about 85% of the biotech in that area is in Maryland. And you can see NIH funding, venture capital funding, patents, lab space, and jobs, and where we came up. And we are now the number 3, the top 3 biotech hub in the country, and probably in the world. So, how do we do in 25? Well, we maintained that. Right? There was some talk that Maryland might jump to number 2 because layoffs had hit the Bay Area very hard. However, you see that we have remained in the number 3 slot. Now, talked about some of the differences between 23 and 25. Let's look at these things. NIH funding, BioHealth Capital Region, down about $750 million. And you can see there that this area was down about 70%. Boston and the Bay Area just ahead were down about 60%. Fact of the matter is, NIH funding was down pretty much everywhere. And you can see that only Philadelphia of the top 10 markets experience an increase. And a 1% increase in the budget is proposed for this year. VC funding overall in the industry was down in 2025. Historically, this has been a weakness of this marketplace, is the venture funding. And you can see that again, the areas that are in front of us and Maryland is down significantly from venture funding. Patents. This has been a historical advantage for Maryland. And you can see that number of 5,800 patents was about 2.5 times more than the second place market, and nearly 12 times what the markets 8 through 10 are. So this is kind of the basis of it. Now, why is that? Well, mainly it's because we have the NIH sitting right in the middle of us. Lab space. This again has been an advantage for the Maryland area, and that's because the cost per square foot of lab space here in this area is about half of what it is in the Bay Area or in Boston. If you're going to start a company, it's a good place. This is a good place to do it. And we have the lowest vacancy rate, so you can see it's about half of what the other markets are. And there was in the growth spurt of 2021, 22, there was really a scramble across the country to build more lab space. There just wasn't enough. And I said at the time, well, I know what's going to happen. We're going to build so much that then we're going to have too much. And we have plenty right now. And even though we have an advantage, the vacancy rates here have grown from what were 10% in 22 to about 16% now. And finally, jobs. That's the most important thing. Jobs in this area down about 2,400. Overall industry employment contracted by about 3%. We said that on an earlier slide. Here in Maryland, layoffs at Catalent, BioNTech, Bora, Biofactura accounted for a loss of about 1,200 jobs. GSK is currently moving 260 jobs from the Rockville campus up on Shady Grove Road to Cambridge. And however, there's some good news here too. AstraZeneca has opened a $300 million manufacturing site in Rockville and committed to build manufacturing site outside of Richmond, Virginia, and GSK near Charlottesville. So here's the leading job titles that are advertised specifically here in Maryland. I've highlighted in red, those are the jobs that are mainly for PhD level. One of the companies, everybody knows, AstraZeneca, Thermo Fisher, Becton Dickinson. These are the large ones here in Maryland. And overall, there's about 2,700 life sciences companies here in the state of Maryland, over 500 biotechs, and 74 federal research labs located here in Maryland. So there are plenty of opportunities. Now, Maryland, leading states in, well, 5 of the 10 funded recipients of Operation Warp Speed. Remember back to Warp Speed, which was right at the beginning of the pandemic to develop antivirals. So 5 of the 10 companies were here in Maryland. Vaccine manufacturing, COVID vaccines from J&J and AstraZeneca were manufactured in Emergent up in Baltimore. Cell and gene therapy, there's nearly 60 companies here in Maryland that are developing cell and gene therapy products. And cell and gene manufacturing, Kites, Yescarta manufacturing up in Urbana is one of the largest cell manufacturing plants in the country. So let's take a look at what some of these job postings are. Now, don't go apply for these jobs because I've taken them out of context. So these don't really exist, but these are good examples. So you take a look at this, and I think the important things are when you read a job ad, how do you read it? Okay. The first thing I tell people to do is do not pay attention to the job title. There is virtually no consistency across the industry in what they call similar jobs. Look at the responsibilities and the qualifications. Excuse me. And if you've done some of these things and you have the education and qualifications there, then you apply for that job. Okay. This is just another one of the same kind of thing. You see a very similar position with a completely different title. And again, if you've got experience doing these things in the background, go ahead and apply. Now, the question is I always get is, do I have to have all of that stuff? Right? The answer is no. Right? When the HR teams in these companies write these job descriptions, I don't think they ever think they're going to find somebody that has every one of that experience. So if it catches your eye and you say, oh yeah, I've done that, yeah, then go ahead and apply. Don't eliminate yourself. The company may eliminate you, but don't eliminate yourself. So what does this all mean? We'll try to boil it down here and see what it means. There are two W forces that are impacting the biopharma workforce, and especially the biopharma workforce here in Maryland. One is Washington. 10,000 federal jobs lost at FDA, CDC, NIH, and the National Science Foundation. NIH investment is down 3%, and we're still waiting to see what the overall impact is of the government shutdown. And the other W force is Wall Street. Biotech stocks down about 6.5% in aggregate. IPOs, the initial public offerings, which is two of the Wall Street measures, IPOs and mergers and acquisitions. IPOs started off very fast in the first quarter of 25, and then they essentially went away. And mergers and acquisitions were down about 19%. So those are the headwinds that the industry is facing. So this is an industry today has a lot of questions. How will they react to regulation and policy changes? Will the FDA restructuring result in delayed approvals and a loss of institutional knowledge? Will the threat of tariffs result in reshoring of biomanufacturing? And jury's still out on AI. What's it gonna mean? And will the high vacancy rates result in an excess of lab space? So that's what the industry is facing.